So before I was going to sleep yesterday evening, the news was breaking about Trump being shot in the United States, and I turned on to the American media, and CNN was saying, "Oh, he only fell," and said maybe he wasn't shot. I don't know. He looked like he was shot to me, but it's hard. American media is hard to read. Oh no, he just fell, and then they were saying no, he staged it, and I just thought, looking at the video, it looked like he was shot. But anyway, America stuff. I'm sure in a couple of hours later. Anyway, I woke up this morning and Obama was saying, tweeting, and then our lame leader here in Ireland, he got up in the morning, had his morning coffee, and decided maybe I'd better tweet out as well. Yeah, it's interesting to see what happens, because in every event in history, there's always a spark. If we look at World War One, it was the assassination of Franz Josef in Sarajevo. Or there's always a spark. There's always a moment. There's always, okay, this is the turning point. And it's been an interesting year for American politics. They've had Trump on trial for everything. Seemingly he met some woman in a store, and the stuff that they were coming up with was interesting. Not to say that the guy is perfect, far from it, but when you look at Biden and his history and his connections to different places, and his son's connection to different places, you'd wonder what's going on. But anyway, I digress. And politics is a quagmire. Just one thing, guys. Before Trump was shot, he met a Catholic priest, a Greek Catholic priest, Father Jason Charron. You can go on to Pints with Aquinas. He's just did an interview this morning. And I woke up and I was listening to Father Jason. I said, wow, go figure. Just before Trump goes to speak on stage, he meets with a Catholic priest. And this Catholic priest had given the opening prayer for this rally in the States. Now, I want people to pray for this priest, because he is going to be seriously attacked. There's one thing Rome doesn't want, is priests involved in politics. And yeah, for some reason it's good. In a way it's good. But American politics is a whole different ballgame. Let's face it, the other side in America, the pro-abortion side, the pro-confusion side, the side that's propping up a war. There's a lot of forces at play at this moment in time, because remember this, there's big money in this conflict. People think it's just about, oh no, we're defending Ukraine. You didn't defend Georgia. When Georgia was invaded and South Ossetia was annexed and Russian troops encircled Tbilisi, there wasn't billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars being pumped into Georgia. They had to make a peace deal. They had to, and put in the next South Ossetia, and Georgia moved on, and there was no war, there was no conflict. And yet with Ukraine, which has the largest ethnic Russian-speaking population outside of Russia, there is no willingness to discuss a ceasefire, peace deal. And people would say, well, look, they're a sovereign country. Why should Putin win this war? Why should we allow a compromise? There's a war then you have to fight a war. And who's fighting this war? Ukraine needs an army. It doesn't need more arms. It needs an army. And sooner or later, an army will need to fight in this war if this is going to continue. So is NATO going to step into Ukraine? Are we going to have British, French, Polish and other NATO troops based in Ukraine? And if that's the case, then we see the Chinese are already in Belarus. We see Russia's arms industry is propped up by China. You know, if this keeps going, there will be a world war. I mean, if you look at the chess game that's being played, you know, we are facing into a world war. And in the midst of all of this, you have an American election. You have a president that, you know, wants to end this. You know, Trump seemingly wants to end this. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of financial, there's a lot of people making a lot of money. You know, arms don't grow out of trees. There's a whole arms industry behind them. And people make billions and billions and billions of dollars from conflict. It's always been the case. There's big money in war. So now this priest he's been placed in the middle of it. They're going to go after him. They're going to go after Father Jason. They're going to cancel him, or he's going to get a call from his bishop. You know, no more press conferences. Don't be talking on blogs. Don't be talking on podcasts. I don't want to hear you. You know, just pull back. You know, this is what they do. You know, this is what they do. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But I just thought, people, if you can pray for Father Jason, because he's being cast in the middle of the spotlight now. And, you know, because let's face it, the Jesuits in America, they're Democrats, you know, James Martin, Father Reese, you know, that's what they are, you know. You never see a Jesuit in a pro-life rally, I presume, or very few. You know, it's, yeah, nominally we're against it, but in reality, you know, we tolerate it. You know, it's where we've ended up. And that's the sad reality of the situation. You know, here in Ireland, we've imported all of this ideology into our country, and we would rather kill our own children with 10,000 abortions. Do we value what family is? Do we value what children are? You know, we would rather, you know, abort our own kids than actually nurture our own kids. You know what? 10,000 kids. You know, how many classrooms of kids could we fill with that? A new generation. But this is the world we live in, where our ideology is anti-family, anti-children, and what's been pushed on us is craziness, is utter craziness. You know, and when you speak about it, people don't like you talking about this, but they're going to go after Father Jason. They're going to go after him. I mean, just watch it. Watch it over the next couple of months, what they'll do. You know, I guarantee you, he'll get a call. No, pipe it down. Shut up. Don't be talking. Don't be giving interviews. You know, because, you know, you're placed in a pivotal moment of time. But I think it's no surprise that they want to take Trump out. You know, America's in a very sad situation. You have a president that can't even remember the president of Ukraine's name. I mean, he's got dementia. He's senile. It's bonkers. You know, but and these are the guys that have these are the guys that have the decision makers on when a nuclear missile is going to be launched. We live in interesting times, but I think this, as Catholics, we know that this was all prophesized. You know, that another world war is coming, has been spoken about and mentioned so many times, and we're in the midst of this. And so, you know, pray for the world, pray for the church. You know, politics is a very interesting subject but there are forces at play here that, you know, really want to destroy humanity. You know, that really there are forces at play that want to remake this world into the image of something else. We see the battle lines being drawn now, and very strong battle lines, you know, political battle lines, armies, you know, China, Russia, North Korea alliance isn't something you can just scoff off, you know, just ignore, you know. But we'll see what happens here. And I think with, you know, from one day to the next, the world could change very, very, very radically if people forget, you know, how integrated our supply chains are, our energy systems are. You know, if exports from China or Middle East were cut off, you know, if we had an energy crisis, a supply chain crisis, you know, you would see supply chains around the world collapsing very quickly. And people don't realize this, you know, how we saw it a little bit in COVID, but, you know, this war could be a lot more drastic, you know, and so pray that we don't end up there. But it's hard to see. It's almost as if Benson wrote a book, a priest wrote a book in the early 1900s called The Lord of the World. And I do encourage people to read it, because we see it being fulfilled out. This was a priest in the early 1900s, an English priest, you know, and he foresaw what we live in today, you know, euthanasia, you know, euthanasia clinics, which didn't exist in the early 1900s. We have them today, you know, and a lot, and I think it's all merging together. It's all coming together. Anyway, pray for that priest. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.